the
I would
Honorable
like to
Abante.
ask the Honorable Marcoleta, is he rebuking this committee?
What is the question, Mr. Chair?
Are you rebuking this committee?
Why am I supposed to rebuke the committee? I am
You
not.
have been saying things for a while.
What?
You have been rebuking this committee.
You are saying that.
We're not blaming the Vice President on this.
I asked
Honorable
the
Marcoleta,
question.
we
I asked
are
the
not
question.
blaming
You do not have the right to
suspend.
depend on that.
One minute suspension is declared by the chair.
Move to suspend.
Yes, your removal from the vice chair, you were removed in a plenary session, House Rules. Now, under Section 28 of the House Rules, it provides that the House shall, upon the recommendation of the Committee on Rules, organize committees, their membership, and jurisdiction. Therefore, your removal as vice chair and member of the House was a plenary action, and therefore, it should be the plenary who should include you as member or as vice chair. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, it was very clear that I was removed as vice chair. I was not removed as a member.
Because you were
There is this distinction between being a member and vice chair. If I
Yes,
was
but-
removed as vice chair,
but your appointment as vice chair, you were not appointed as member. Your appointment was as vice chair. So hindi naman po kayo
Mr.
in-appoint
Chair.
muna as member bago kayo ginawang vice chair. Your immediate appointment was as vice chairman, and therefore your removal as vice chair will remove you as member also. Yun po yun.
Well,
And it's a
that is
plenary action. The committee has nothing to do with it.
that is your opinion, Mr. Chair, but I am expecting that some kind of a basis should be presented that upon removal of a vice chair, that automatically also removes him as a member of that committee. That's all I am asking, Mr. Chair.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
You have
Mr.
already
Chair.
consumed 4
Just
minutes.
one question,
Mr.
Mr. Chair.
Mr.
Just
Chair,
one question.
Yes, the Honorable Marcoleta.
May I offer a counter manifestation, Mr. Chair?
Later po, 1 minute na lang po siya, and then
Kasi
I will
baka makalimutan yung continuity, yung flow ng discussion. I'd like to ask only, Mr. Chair, by way of manifestation, is there anybody who is questioning the power of the purse of Congress? Is there anybody who is questioning the legislative function and oversight function of Congress? Is there? Because if there is none, then we are not supposed to overextend the discussion or any manifestation, because nobody is questioning that. And I think nobody could question that. Even the privileged speech of the Honorable Valeriano. I think the proper question there, the proper title is not asserting the power of the purse. We should not assert it because that power is inherent in us. Asserting or not asserting that power is of no moment. Yun po ay birthright. Yun po is inherent right of Congress. And let me make of record The office of the Vice President, to my mind, did not undermine the power of the force. When she personally came in the first hearing and presented herself, including the budget by way of a PowerPoint presentation, she made a presentation, Mr. Chair. And after that, she made a categorical statement that she said, I forgo, Madam Chair, I forgo my opportunity to defend the budget of the office of the President by way of question and answer, and instead I leave it to the discretion of the House of Representatives on their decision to decide on the proposal as presented. This is a very respectful answer, Mr. Chair. I did not find any offensive remark in that particular statement. She gave the entire House of Representatives the entire discretion and the entire right to decide on the proposal she presented before us. Why would we blame her for saying that she disrespected Congress? No, sir. I think it was triggered by the fact that questions were asked in relation to the confidential and intelligence funds. To my mind, Mr. Chair, these particular funds were subjected to a notice of disallowance. But the notice of disallowance by its nature, by its very nature, Mr. Chair, is contestable. It is appealable. It is yet to be explained. And initially, as explained by the representative of COA, the notice of disallowance suffered by way of supporting documents, by way of non-compliance with certain requisites. What if the Vice President is able to provide all the supporting documents? What if finally she is able to come up with the requisites required in order for you to consider that all these funds are eventually allowable and they are not disallowed? And chances are she may be able to do that. Hindi po final judgment ang notice of disallowance. As a matter of fact, based on COA's own representation the other day, the Vice President received the notice of disallowance only on August 24, 2024, which means, Mr. Chair, the Vice President has 6 months within which to reply and make an answer. That is correct, Madam COA. So, 6 months is up to February 2025. We should give her all the allowance. We should give her the time. Because 6 months is 6 months. So why are we rushing to make a judgment? As a matter of fact, as I have already initiated earlier, Mr. Chair, when you said that anything we can discuss in this committee provided it is of public interest, and you said that intelligence funds and confidential funds are public interest, but I said because of our own rules, we should make a prior and preliminary determination that is directly and principally connected to malfeasance, misfeasance, or nonfeasance. We have not made that determination. How can we now begin questioning whether or not the intelligence funds covered by an initial notice of disallowance is already directly and principally connected with nonfeasance or misfeasance or malfeasance? Madam COA, how many agencies of government today are subjected to notice of disallowance? Do you have a number? How many agencies
Mr.
today?
Chair.
With all
Mr.
due
Chair,
respect
point of
to
order,
the
Mr.
Before
honorable...
I,
But that is a question I will leave, and I will
Yes.
terminate
But-
my manifestation, Madam.
Yes, but I will.
I
I
believe,
would like
Mr.
to
Chair, that
respond.
this is still my time.
Yes, but I would like to respond to your manifestation, Congressman Marcoleta.
Parliamentary
Let
inquiry,
me.
Mr. Chair. Parliamentary inquiry
What is the
muna.
parliamentary inquiry of the
I would
Honorable
like to
Abante?
ask the Honorable Marcoleta, is he rebuking this committee?
What is the question, Mr. Chair?
Are you rebuking this committee?
Why am I supposed to rebuke the committee? I am
You
not.
have been saying things for a while.
What?
You have been rebuking this committee.
You are saying that.
We're not blaming the Vice President on this.
I asked
Honorable
the
Marcoleta,
question.
we
I asked
are
the
not
question.
blaming
You do not have the right
the-
to depend
1 minute,
on that.
1 minute suspension is declared by the chair.
Move to suspend.
Marcoleta is now recognized for his interpellation.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, sasamantalahin ko na po ang presence po ng mga kinatawan ng Commission on Audit. Gusto ko po sanang itanong mula sa kanila, ano-ano pong mga opisina ng ating pamahalaan o ahensya ang pinagkakalooban po ng intelligence and confidential funds?
Attorney Camora, please respond.
Confidential funds are given to NGAs, to LGUs, and some GOCCs po.
You can elaborate, Madam Representative, sino po sa mga LGUs ang binibigyan po ng intelligence and confidential funds?
Sa LGUs po, depende po sa LGU, sa POP po nila, Mr. Chair.
Hindi po ba yung mga opisina ng mayor ay nakakatanggap ng intelligence and confidential funds?
As long as it is part of their budget, Madam Chair, Mr. Chair.
Kaya nga po tinatanong ko sa inyo, kayo po nakakaalam kasi kung sino-sino sa kanila. Karaniwan po yung opisina ng mayor, nakatatanggap po, maring hindi lahat, ngunit nakatatanggap po basically yung opisina ng mayor. Tama po?
According to the joint circular po, LGUs whose peace and order is a priority concern, sila po usually yung nag-allocate ng confidential funds.
Kaya nga po, base po sa record ninyo, may mga mayors po, opisina ng mayor ang nakatatanggap ng confidential and intelligence funds. Kasi po kayo ang nag-o-audit eh.
Yes po, Mr. Chair.
Para hindi na tayo magtagal, ganun lang kasi. Pati po opisina ng gobernador nakakatanggap din po ng ganung klaseng pondo, hindi po ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yun pong PNP nakakatanggap po.
Intelligence fund po sa
Opo,
PNP.
yung AFP nakakatanggap po.
Yes po, Mr.
Ang
Chair.
opisina po ng ating Pangulo ay nakakatanggap po ng intelligence funds.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Ngayon po sa mga karamihan po ng opisina ng mayor at opisina ng gobernador at alimpang mga LGUs na maaaring makatanggap nito, depende sa kanilang pangangailangan. Yung AFP at saka yung ating kapulisan at ang ating ang opisina po ng ating Panguluhan, masasabi po ba ninyo na merong na-issuean po ng notice or notices of disallowance sa napakaraming opisina na tumatanggap ng ganitong pondo?
Mr. Chair, pagka meron naman pong mga ibang agencies na katanggap
Kaya nga po
ng NDs.
gusto ko pong malaman, halimbawa 2022 at saka 2023, ballpark figures lang po, ilan po sa mga official, sa mga opisina ng mayor na nakatanggap ng confidential or intelligence funds ang subjected to notices of disallowance? Ilan po sa opisina ng gobernador? Ganon din po yung tanong. At saka sa iba't ibang mga opisina po, para malaman lang natin, kahit ballpark figures lang, ilan po yung na-issue nyo na notices of disallowance concerning these types of funds?
Mr. Chair, wala po kaming data on the said information today because we only have data on the OVP po. I cannot give an exact number
Bakit
today.
po? Kasasabi nyo lang na meron din kayong sinubject sa notice of disallowance eh. Bakit po yung opisina lang ng OBP ang meron kayong record?
Yung hawak po namin ngayon, Mr. Chair, since ito po yung subject ng inquiry, we are prepared as to the OVP. Pero as to other
O sige po,
agencies-
ganito na lang. Meron po ba kayong estimated na bilang ng na-issue nyo na kayo po kasi pag intelligence and confidential funds, kayo po yung auditing unit ang nakatoka para tingnan po ang pagkakagasta ng tipo ng fondong ito. Tama po?
Tama po, Mr.
Okay.
Chair.
Makapagsasabi po ba kayo ng estimated number? Ito po, kinabibilangan ng opisina ng mayor, ng gobernador, ng ISAP, ng kung ano-ano, ng siguro po, maski National Intelligence Security Council, AFP, ang kapulisan. Can you provide us a ballpark number of the notices of disallowance that your office has initially issued?
Mr. Chair, I cannot give you a ballpark figure now since hindi naman po ako involved sa entire ICFAO. So,
Wala po bang isa sa inyo na nakaupo ngayon sa aming harapan ang makapagbibigay man lang ng estimated number? Napakarami po ng mayor, napakarami po ng gobernador.
precisely, sir, kaya sa ibang division, wala po akong...
Pwede ba natin sabing 100 or 500 notices of disallowance?
I cannot say po, Mr. Chair.
How can you help us? We are supposed to be doing this in aid of legislation. Kaya namin kayo pinatawag para tulungan nyo kami.
Mr. Chair,
Ang sabi po ng jurisprudence, which was quoted by no less than the former Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, Reynato Puno, quoting various jurisprudence. Kasama na po yung Arnold versus Nazareno. There should be a legislative purpose. That's number one requirement. The number two requirement, there should be pertinency in relation to those legislative purpose. Kaya po
Congressman Marcoleta,
tinatanong
you
ko,
have 1 minute.
tinatanong ko po ngayon, gaano karami, o sige ganito na lang, marami ba ang na-issue nyo po na notices of disallowance in connection with these types of fund?
Sir, I really cannot give an exact number
Hindi nga sabihin mo
today.
lang, marami.
Attorney,
Medyo marami.
Attorney Camora, could you please submit the documents that the Honorable Marcoleta is requesting?
Yes.
Kasi sa ngayon,
Mr.
bago ako
As to the
magtapos,
numbers.
Mr. Chair, I want
Yes,
to wind
Mr.
up now.
Yes.
I want
please
to wind up now. Can you at least sabihin mo lang, marami, medyo marami. Pati ba naman yun, hindi mo... Ang dami po nating mayor dito sa buong Pilipinas, ang daming gobernador, pati kapulisan, ISAP, AFP. So sabi mo kanina, marami na-cover ng... ilan ba?
Madam Chair, kung yung current year, I can answer na
O yung,
konti lang
on
po.
the average noon, yung halimbawa 2020, 2021, 2022, by way of your experience, by way of your former data,
Previous years po, I cannot say since bago lang po ako sa ICFAO. So, we could just provide you po with the documents.
Please wrap up. One last question, Congressman
what
Marcoleta.
about to the other members of the Commission on Audit? Through your experience, let's say in the last 10 years, wala kayong may bibigay? Alam po ninyo kung bakit ko tinatanong ito? Kung marami po kayong na-issue, at alam ko marami talaga, na notices of disallowance, pupuntahin natin dito lahat, hindi lang ang Office of the Vice President at dapat umupo dito. Lahat na po ng inisyuhan nyo ng notices of disallowance must sit here para makagawa po kami ng mas maganda, mas balanse na batas. Kung pag-uusapan po ay ang paggamit nitong intelligence funds. Do you understand, Madam?
Yes, I understand po the question.
So,
However,
the committee is expecting to receive the number as well as the pertinent records pertaining to the issuance of notices of disallowance to the municipal mayors, governors, the PNP, the AFP, and such other agencies who are recipients of intelligence and confidential funds, because later on we will also summon them and sit
Congressman-
with us. Thank you, Madam Chair, Mr. Chair.
Congressman Marcoleta, you cannot move because you are not a member of this committee.
It's good that you have raised that, Mr. Chair. I am a vice chair of this committee. On September 4, I was surprised because I saw the journal that I was replaced by my comare. The question is, if I am replaced as a vice chair, does that automatically mean that I am removed as a member of this committee? Before you answer that, Mr. Chair, I think I need some legal basis before you answer that.
Yes, your removal from the vice chair, you were removed in a plenary session, House Rules. Now, under Section 28 of the House Rules, it provides that the House shall, upon the recommendation of the Committee on Rules, organize committees, their membership, and jurisdiction. Therefore, your removal as vice chair and member of the House was a plenary action, and therefore, it should be the plenary who should include you as member or as vice chair. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, it was very clear that I was removed as vice chair. I was not removed as a member.
Because you were
There is this distinction between being a member and vice chair. If I
Yes,
was
but-
removed as vice chair,
but your appointment as vice chair, you were not appointed as member. Your appointment was as vice chair. So hindi naman po kayo
Mr.
in-appoint
Chair.
muna as member bago kayo ginawang vice chair. Your immediate appointment was as vice chairman, and therefore your removal as vice chair will remove you as member also. Yun po yun.
Well,
And it's a
that is
plenary
your-
action. The committee has nothing to do with it.
that is your opinion, Mr. Chair, but I am expecting that some kind of a basis should be presented that upon removal of a vice chair, that automatically also removes him as a member of that committee. That's all I am asking, Mr. Chair.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
We have already answered the manifestation or the inquiry of the Honorable Marcoleta. Next to interpolate is sino?
Mr. Chairman,
Honorable.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, with the permission, with the indulgence of Honorable Dionisio, I would like to recognize the Honorable Paduano.
Mr. Chairman, under our rules, there's a motion for a point of order. And this is one of the highest motion that should be ruled by the chairman. So, Mr. Chairman, just a parliamentary procedure. The chairman should recognize the person that moves for a point of order, because that is one of the highest motion that should be recognized by the chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Noted. Honorable
Mr. Chair,
Honorable Vice Chairman Abante.
with the indulgence of Congressman Dionisio, may I be recognized?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, with the indul-
just a point of inquiry. There's a motion for a point of order, and I have stated that is the one of the highest, well, in fact, second highest motion. So the chairman should rule on that point of order that was raised by, I think it's Congressman Valeriano.
My point of order is that the chairman already ruled na he was removed as vice chairman of the Committee on Good Government and Public Accountabilities. That's
It
all,
was
Mr.
already
Chairman.
answered. It was already ruled, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you po.
Mr. Chair,
With the indulgence of Congressman Dionisio, the Chair would like to recognize the Vice Chairman Abante.
Mr. Chair, a while ago, COA has answered the question of Congressman Romy Acob as far as the difference between an intelligence fund and confidential fund. Can you please repeat that? Meron pagkakaiba ang intelligence fund saka ang confidential fund?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Ang Intel Fund po, it is given to uniformed and military personnel and intelligence practitioners. And the purpose is for activities that have direct impact to national security. For confidential fund, they are given to civilian government agencies that are intended to support the mandate or operations of the agency.
Okay, Mr. Chair, therefore, ang intelligence fund, hindi confidential fund.
Yes, Mr.
Okay,
Chair.
pero kanina, yung pong question ni Congressman Marcoleta, sinasabi niya palagi, confidential fund or intelligence fund. Am I right?
They are separate po.
O therefore, hindi po masyado naintindihan ni Congressman Marcoleta yung katanungan niya. Sapagkat kanyang pinareho ang confidential fund at ang intelligence fund. Na gusto kong itanong, Mr. Chair, no? Sinabi niya kanina, sinabi mo na mayroong confidential fund ng mga mayors and governors, di ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Intelligence